I would like to see myself through the eyes of Christ.
This technique is called scrying, S-C-R-Y-I-N-G. It's an old Persian technique, because they would look into the crystal, and by holding the focus of the crystal, or water that's contained in the crystal, so there are no bubbles or movement, they could then see something else reflecting. That's just to give you a background of what that is. Sorcerers, priests, the priestcraft of ancient Babylon used it to track their enemies and to eventually overthrow all the coast of Israel and Palestine, and clear down the coast, and they were into Greece, but they could see what was going on. And these were people that if you were wrong, you got killed. So when they looked, they really looked. But it was a technique at the time that I was developing that I already knew from another time. And it would sometimes run like a silent film. There seemed to be a sacredness that came along with it. It's one way of like gazing in towards the Akashic records. How many have ever done this? I don't know how long to tell you to do this, because it's varied with people. But my average is about 10 minutes. But if I just gaze, blink when it's necessary, then I start my song of love to God. It doesn't carry a melody. It carries different words because different things are going on. Sometimes it's just a toning. Sometimes I'll turn on a tape that I've done and listen to it. But I stay in there in this tightly controlled, it's not a negative control. It's like a glass is tightly controlled to keep water in it, so that it contains what it is I'm looking for and where I apparently am wanting to go to see or do. And within a matter of 20, 30 seconds, I start to feel the energy of something building around me. And then I ask to see the face of God. You might say, how do you know it was the face of God? It wasn't my face. What if it wasn't the face of God? That's okay. Next time I'm up, I ask to see the face of God again. It isn't too long until a consistency appears. And it keeps appearing and it keeps appearing. And I get so I can be ready to do this, be sitting on the bed and look up, and I can see somebody else there. That picture has talked back with information I didn't know. So I knew I couldn't fabricate it. I knew it wasn't mine, because it would give me answers to things that I had no way to know to even ask the question. After I got the answer, I knew what the question was. Does it matter what race or language it comes from? No. It is what you in your mind are holding as the focus. Have I ever done it without any kind of intonation, toning, clarifying? Yeah, I just sit and look. Almost like in school when the teacher's lecturing and all of a sudden you start daydreaming out the window and you haven't heard a word the teacher said, but what you've looked at's been a hell of a lot more interesting. It is a type of daydream along that fashion. Take the time, but set yourself up so if you start to do this and somebody honks a horn, you'll be dead in the water. Because the etheric body will split off. And you'll feel crazy. So you do it in a sacred place, which is your home. And everybody makes that sacred because it is your home. And you move into it real fast. You don't expect it to happen. You don't look for it to happen. You are the happening. If it's happening, it's going to happen, and you just sit there and observe what you see in the mirror. Your goal, as you stated it, was to see Christ. My answers to you have been to do that. And here how I've found methods that work. The best method, however, is soul transcendence, and that's to do spiritual exercise, leave the body, and you're taken, you're shown.